The most fragrant herbs and
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
You wouldn't believe how much he gave me. Well, I hope... What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off. Do you think they'll be vexed? Light, meat, and dark. Fresh from the grill.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer. Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
Why's the tavern shut?
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
Let me treat you. I'm pretty flush these days.
I need to drink.
Fucking men of the wrong. Anytime they pull their snouts up. Huh?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle? Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
Perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
Of course.
Let me treat you.
I need a drink.
Fucking men of the wrong.
$1,000 gil for a measly. Made from the stoutest stoneware. No matter how rocky the road.
Do you think they'll be back soon?
Needed.
The juiciest meat.
Take a sniff, good sir.
My carpets have pride of place in...
I'll take it from here.
I
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And, being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them! Kill them both!
It's not over yet, Uncle.
Good! I'm just getting warmed up!
Stay down. All yours, Torgal! Attack! Now, Torgal! Torgal, kill! To me, boy! Now, Torgal! All yours, Torgal!
Well, That wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on...
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalimil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon. It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Of all the... Ugh!
Here, wear this. Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalimil
Umia Lostelan. Tuisa Gilis.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive. So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
I've never even forged a butter knife before. Perhaps Forge Master Luber's up.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh, wait. Are you Clive? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's, at least soon-to-be former, apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just... People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalimil. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the...
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalimil.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalimil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and they're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something you...
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I'd better get to it. Now feel good, boy.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
The finest fabric!
It would make a fine gift for your beloved.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven. Here, have a taste.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Hanging lantern!
Ah! They've opened the gate!
Lubor was true to his word.
Fucking men of the wrong.
You can't even feel mine.
I'll be asking for you again, my sweet.
Then see that you stay a little longer next time.
Everything I've worked for. Ruined.
Just look at the deed! Wait, incense! What? $1,000 gil for a measly bunch of Gazal trees. Plates and pots!
Kneaded to a silken softness, Like eating a cloud with a crust.
My carpets have pride of place in Castle.
Silver platters.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Fucking men of the wrong.
I need a drink.
You're going to drink my pockets dry.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
The most fragrant herbs and fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Won't you everything I've worked for? No matter all those years of toil.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. On second thought, perhaps you are just what...
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business. The baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you. Go to Dusnoff Terrace.
All right.
Wonderful. Leave the market by the south gate. The smell of sulphur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end. My livelihood, my very...
Sweet incense. Whack, whack, whack.
Well, we can make our way back to the farm.
What is it?
Sorry.
Hunter?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving?
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard.
Thank you.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
Just look at the detail.
Needed to a silken softness.
Yes, they're
The
quite
finest fabrics, fresh from the...
So, you learn anything useful, or should I be looking for...
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't...
All the cook said was that he needs his too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we start. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his... But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with him. No. He must be...
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off...
Agreed.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But its trouble is, it's either durable, meaning someone is going to be disappointed.
Is there no one else you can turn to?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my tech. A merchant, a favourite of Forge Master Lubor's, who said, I bet she'd know a thing.
Not here. Come on. Thanks, girl.
Old Kupka's finally made his mark.
Any luck?
Well, I asked her, but...
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalimil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine...
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalimil remark was...
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalimil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmith.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask...
Limestone? Fine. Besides, I wanted...
I can't thank you. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. So, do you crush it up, or just throw it in the furnace?
I can walk from here.
Is it true what I'm hearing? Take a sniff, good sir.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Plates and pots!
Hanging lanterns.
We should get going soon.
Ah, I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Dальмекия and Waloed are allies, and as you've seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. My man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
tank looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Sava needs.
Come on, girl, the gate's open now. We can...
What the hell are those things?
By the flames. That explains the heat. There's a good boy. Nice try. Stay all yours, Torgal. Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling. Fly, Ambrosia.
We should get going.
That'll do, girl.
Do you have water?
I've got a crystal.
Sweet incense! What?
There he is. The man who... I was hoping we'd... The baths...
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this.
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
You tell her fine. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flesh. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Right. It's high time I got back to work.
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Light, meat, and dark, fresh from the grill.
It would make
My carpets have pride of placing.
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone... That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalimil. Her spirit.
It's a fine-looking blade.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalimil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think? It's sharp-ish, and it's heavy. Heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but...
And I was so certain I had it all.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but... Next question. How much do you think I would charge?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of that, I would say you could...
And who would be able to pay? The butcher? The hunter? Dalimil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business...
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about past. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. What would you do?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are...
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Masters. The spirit of Dalimil had nothing to do with meaning. I had you run...
You've passed your test. That's all that...
And when I do, I'll craft you the...
Finest fabrics!
The most fragrant herbs
Kneaded to a silken softness. Silver platters!
Finally, we'll be able to get this.
We should get going soon.
Do you have